Hey guys, welcome back to Refresh Rewinds. I'm Christina.
And I'm still Aaron.
That's good. So today we're going to be watching 1989's When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, they met.
Yeah, I
Billy Crystal
uh
and Meg
Meg Ryan.
Ryan, 1989.
Yes,
The year of you.
literally it was released the week before me.
Have we seen another 89? I think we
I feel
have.
like we have.
Yeah. We like the, obviously we
It's
do
a great year.
yes, the older movies just so we don't spoil it for everybody.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we're going to be talking about this one pretty much from start to finish
Yeah.
and give our review on it and everything. So, when I was 10, 11, 12 and stuff when it came out, um, I didn't realize it was a rated R movie.
Yeah, I
But when
was
you're
a little
watching it, you're
shocked.
like, why is this or whatever?
Yeah.
So I don't think I saw it until we're going to watch it today.
Yeah. I've never seen it before. My nail technician had it on at one point, and I was like, no, 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 don't watch it, don't watch
Right,
it.
right. We,
So,
we do that a lot, just try to save everything for up here.
yeah.
Of course, I think from what I know about it is the Meg Ryan scene in the diner is just, every movie's got that,
Yeah.
that thing. So I've seen that like in trivia stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I really don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it's a
It's a
it's a
rom-com.
love story of
Yeah.
some sort or whatever. So I'm excited to watch it, I guess, for the first time as, an adult and stuff like that. Barely.
I'm definitely excited to see it. It's a kind of one of those classic rom-coms that everybody is just like, you have to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of up there with like Sleepless in Seattle, which I know we're eventually going to watch, but
Meg Ryan again.
okay, well then,
Well, there you
yeah.
go. So with this one, we're normally going to do a cocktail with all the movies that we do and stuff. We looked up drinks in a movie, and this one come up with one or two different things. There's, I guess, not a lot of drinking, but we were preparing for our New Year's shindig, and we knew that they had a mention of a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, do we make the Bloody Mary and get all the ingredients and stuff? But we really don't drink that too often.
No.
So what we did do is we found an already made Bloody Mary mix with the alcohol vodka already added into it. So I got one for me and one for you.
Woo.
So we are going to actually pour this now
All right.
and be jealous. So we're going to drink this while we
Yes.
go watch the movie
I'm so excited.
and enjoy it and come back up with a little bit of Bloody Mary vodka up in us and talk about it and let you know what we thought. Ooh, ASMR. So, all right, guys. We'll see you later.
You don't think that I can tell the difference between a real sneeze and a fake sneeze? Nope. Get out of here. You okay?
Waiter, I'll have what she's having, only less pepper.
All right, guys. So we're back. We just got done watching When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's just such a cute love story. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't somebody yearning for
Yeah.
love. It was more of like just those paths that always cross.
it felt very realistic.
and adding in the older couples.
Oh my God, that was like my favorite part.
And having their story told.
Yes.
We lived right here next to each other, and we always. I mean, it was just like their paths never crossed
We were
until
born in the
they
same
did.
hospital.
Yeah, it was really cool to see the progression throughout the years of the
Mm-hmm.
movie, and then kind of correlating to these real life couples and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's where they were at when they ended
Yeah.
up meeting each other and stuff. But first of all, let me say, this
Oh my God.
this Bloody Mary. I don't want to say mix because yeah, it's a mix, but it also has the vodka in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've
So it's a pre-ready cocktail.
pre-ready in a can, shake it, pour it over ice, you're good to go. But
So good.
I think we've all had a Bloody Mary or like a red beer or something like that where there's ingredients and you watch them make it and stuff, and there's, you know, a million different ways to make it to your liking. But this
Yeah.
definitely tastes great.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have like those extra little bits of large salt or pepper
Yeah.
or the mixture and stuff in it. This is
It's like the
really
right
good.
amount of spice.
The damn
feel
can
the
looks
burn.
like an energy drink though.
Yes, a zing zang.
But I digress. Let's talk about Meg Ryan. Yeah, I guess it starts off in college.
Yeah, 1977.
Let me first off, and for people that know me, or don't, or whatever, the up close kissing,
Oh, it's awkward.
don't do it.
It's awkward.
Just don't do it. Like just the zoom in on like everything. I'm like, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Top Gun started it with the whole. It was just don't do it.
It's
Okay,
unnecessary.
so anyway, yeah, that's how the movie starts. So
Yeah, because Billy Crystal is making out with his college girlfriend before he gets in a car with a stranger to him to drive from Chicago to New York City.
yeah, to go to. No, they're done with college. They
It
graduated
seems like they're
college.
done with college, but for some reason they're still. I guess maybe they're just moving there.
Moving there to start their
Yeah.
new careers and lives and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, it's an 18-hour long trip of Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, and it's like boom, right away, they're thrown together, and he kind of comes off as the know-it-all,
Yeah.
playboy-ish type of guy.
A little
Not,
douchey.
but yeah, not so much a playboy, but kind of knows the X's and O's of relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the big theme really basically overall for the movie is that a guy cannot have a girlfriend and
Men and women cannot be friends.
and it can't be complicated by sex.
Yeah.
The guys always do want to get with the girlfriend, and everybody's like, well, no, the
Yeah.
girl doesn't believe it. And they're like, call him, ask him.
Yeah.
And you see it honestly throughout movies and TV shows since then.
Yeah.
So
really do.
it was. I'm sure this is the origin of that whole, I guess, debate.
No, and they talk about a little bit of everything. I mean, Meg Ryan starts off like telling him, okay, it's an 18-hour trip. We're going to be, do we want to split it up into equal 3-hour shifts, or we can do it by mileage? She's very controlling in that sense, like very specific on everything.
Yeah, I would say that she's figured her life out
Yes.
in a way. Up to that point, it's like everything that comes at her is put in a way, it's folded, and then it's in this box and everything. So everything is kind of organized, and then you kind of see that she later in the story you get a very cold, I guess, way of dealing with relationships
Yeah.
until she doesn't.
Yeah, true. Well, I noticed like they talk about everything. He goes, "Tell me about your life," and then from there they go into movies, which they go into Casablanca, which we haven't seen yet, and they do talk about the ending in it. So
And then they show the
I
ending
guess spoiler alert for us.
later.
Eventually,
But I still don't know what that's about either.
no, I don't either. And then I love when they go to the dine, or I guess it's a cafe.
Yeah,
they
pull off the road, yeah.
And she tells the waitress exactly how she wants her apple pie a la mode. And it's so specific. Like,
Yeah, if it's not this ice cream, don't put it on there. Don't heat it up if it is, but if it isn't, put it on the side.
Yeah.
And so, not
and
just
if it's
with
whipped
that.
cream, it better not be in a can. And
Yeah, and he's just there like, oy vey, just like
Like, what
I'm
did I just get
sorry
myself
for
into?
this, you know. But that's her theme. That's
Yeah.
she does it with her salads and every
Yeah.
time, and then eventually it just kind of grows on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. I love when she just drops him off. It was all like, nice to meet you, have a nice life.
Yeah, have a nice life.
As
and
if
then,
that's going to be the last time that you ever run into him.
right, right. So yeah, it literally just fades to black right there. He's walking one way and she's driving off, and you get your intro to basically when Harry met Sally. And then it's 5 years later, so it
Yep.
goes from 77 to 82, and now they're kissing in the damn airport.
Yeah, and he walks up and you can tell and this is so weird. I'm like, I never walk into a situation in an airport where somebody is hugging or kissing somebody and actively like trying to stare in their face to figure out who they are. And he's actively like trying to figure out. And I'm like, I think he recognizes her and not him initially.
I think so too, but he
Yeah.
doesn't want to play it off like that.
Yeah, he wants to play it cool.
But he knows both of them.
Yes. Yeah. And it's very awkward because she's all like, oh, yeah, you probably don't remember me.
Yeah, and she's trying to kind of like hide from him or
Yeah.
whatever because she's with Joe. Sally is with
Yeah.
Joe, and they have a relationship after she had gotten to New York. So for
Well, she said that on the plane, she said that they've only been together for a month.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they say, I love you, which is very, very quick.
yeah, she ends up staying with him for a while though.
A while, yeah.
They get on the plane. I don't know where they're going. They never really said.
No, they never said.
But Harry ends up sitting behind her, and then not realizes because I'm sure he
The
knew.
guy next to it.
So
or
yeah,
next to her.
the other guy, yeah, she was ordering a Bloody Mary.
Kind of. So
Yeah,
she was ordering like tomato juice, but with a splash of Bloody Mary mix.
Yeah,
And yeah, so while she's not drinking a Bloody Mary, I mean, it makes sense that we are.
yeah. And the guy that's sitting next to Sally ends up swapping places with Harry, and
Yeah.
they talk, and he's giving her a little bit more of this. Yeah, I know everything again.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
An amendment to the rule once they get off the plane that men and women can't be friends. And he goes, unless you're both in a relationship. But then he goes, but then your partner can get jealous.
Yeah, because why would you be friends otherwise?
Yeah.
Type of thing. So it's like he's trying to correct it because he's kind of realizing he's grown up and she's grown up, and he's realized that she's grown up some, and his old tactics, even though he's saying he's not really wanting to get with
Yeah.
her, but you still don't believe it at this early
Well, but
stage.
he also announces that he's engaged
Yeah,
to Helen.
yeah.
And we never really see Helen until
Later.
later in the movie.
Yeah, so they're both in relationships
Mm-hmm.
now. They cross paths again.
Yep.
And then I think they just go on their way
Yeah.
again.
They just kind of, they get off at the airport, and it's so awkward when you have to say bye to somebody and they're still there walking with you the whole time. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't.
Well, I'm going this way too.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just stop and go ahead. They show a couple more of the older couples and
Yep.
everything, talking about how they got together and their story and stuff. But then, doesn't it time jump again?
It jumps another 5 years.
So
1987 then.
they show Sally at brunch
With her friends.
with her two friends, and one of them being Carrie Fisher. That, if you don't know, she's Princess Leia.
Star Wars.
Yeah. So Carrie Fisher's there, and you learn that Sally is broken up with Joe.
Yes.
Just
Like the Monday prior.
right, yeah. And the way everybody's kind of like, oh no, and she's like,
Yeah.
no, it's okay, I'm over it. And it's like 5-year relationship, and like just boom, boom, 4 days later,
Yeah, you're done.
You're kind of
You're
done with
happy.
it.
You've
Yeah.
moved on. But she also doesn't want to be set up with anybody because her friend pulls out this,
Rolodex.
Rolodex.
almost, yeah.
which I don't think I've seen one of those in at least 15 years.
Yeah, starts pulling out names of guys that she still believes are single.
Yeah.
One she already set up with them. Another guy's been married for a while.
I love how she just folds down the corner of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
I don't know if there's anything else important in that scene, but they end up cutting to Harry, who's finding himself in a similar situation.
Yeah, that he's getting divorced.
So they show, I think it was the Lions and the Giants playing football.
Definitely the Giants.
It was the Giants, but I think the Lions were there. Anyway.
I love that they are doing the wave with the crowd as they're talking about such a serious
It was a
subject.
serious wave, too. It was a good wave. It went around
multiple times.
So, yeah, you find out that Sally and Joe had broken up, and now Harry's talking to his buddy Jess, and he's saying that him and Helen are calling it quits because he found out that she was cheating on him.
No, that well, yes and no. I guess, like, the mover showed up and he goes, well, how long have you known about this job? And they go, oh, well, she hired us a week ago. And he does find out that she's moving in with somebody, yes, but I guess she basically tells him, like, that she never loved him.
Oh, yeah.
Which, that's brutal.
Yeah. But, I mean, they never do show how the relationship was or anything, so it's always just Harry's and Sally's perspective on what went
happened.
down or whatever.
Yeah.
So here we are again, kind of like their paths are kind of about to meander back to each other and stuff. And then what happens after that?
Well, they start hanging out more. They go out to dinner. They start hanging out at museums.
Well, they meet up at a bookstore.
Oh, yeah, they meet at a bookstore.
That's where their paths, for the third time now,
Yeah.
has come together in New York. They're both single. And she's with, Sally is with Marie, who's Carrie Fisher, at a bookstore and notices creepy-ass Billy Crystal in the corner. Just, like, definitely perving around.
Stalking.
But, yeah, she ends up, they end up talking and kind of... So, do you want to go do a dinner or do something and stuff? And it's like a...
So I love when Sally's explaining to Harry why her and Joe broke up. And she tells him, oh, well, Joe and I, like, we never wanted to get married because, like, after you get married, the sex stops. Once you have kids, like, sex stops. And I think a lot of people have heard that throughout the years.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a myth that's out there, a rumor.
Yeah.
If you can say. And she goes, I just wanted, we wanted to be able to take off and fly to Rome if we wanted to on the spot's notice, or if we wanted to just throw down on the kitchen floor, we could, and we didn't have to worry about the kids walking in.
And he's like, you never did that anyways. And she's like,
No.
It's just cold tile.
Yeah.
It's hard, and we never flew off to Rome.
Yeah.
And it's like, so maybe the idea that she had of a marriage and something is just now kind of shattered and kind of tainted, and where she's like, well, I thought I had it, and then it just didn't. It wasn't.
Exactly.
So what else is there?
Yeah.
And so they both are probably trying to find themselves in that situation. They end up going on kind of like a montage of dates and everything, and her ordering her weird stuff at restaurants and him just sitting through it. And then they're at like a museum type of thing, and she ends up having a date.
Well, she's going to be going on a date later that night.
Yeah.
And he tells her, let's talk in this funny voice.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the pecan pie line was improvised by Billy Crystal. And Meg Ryan actually looks off camera, and the director's like, go with it.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right.
Yeah, Billy Crystal, I'm thinking he started as a stand-up.
Okay, I can believe it.
And he obviously was in funny movies.
Oh my God, I love him in Princess Bride. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's got the characters and everything. They, remember him and Whoopi Goldberg and forget who else or whatever hosted like a really big, annual Comics Live. I think that's what it was called.
Okay.
So.
No, but I love that she's like, oh, I was scared to tell you that I was going on this date. And he's all like, why? Like, we're friends. Like, why would you be afraid to tell me that?
Yeah, I still think he's trying to convince himself. He's like, it's already been this many years or whatever.
Yeah.
I keep running into her. But he keeps telling Jess that, like, yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
She's
I can talk to her about
a
anything.
good personality. And it's like, yeah, well, she's not. And it's like, no, yeah, she's pretty too.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh yeah, because if
kidding
you
me?
have a great personality, you can't be attractive.
Right.
No, and even in the batting cages, he tells Jess that he was with a woman and she went to an unworldly place where she meowed. And he was so stuck on the fact of
He's all,
you made a
her
woman.
meow? And then he keeps talking. He's like, yeah, and then I did this and I
Yeah.
did this. And you made her meow? It's like, and then cut to another friend date at a diner.
Yes. Oh my god, I love this scene. It's so freaking hilarious. I love that. So they bring up the fact of that women can fake an orgasm.
Yeah, and he definitely would know. He knows when he's giving them.
Yeah.
He knows they're not fake.
Yeah.
He knows that he's the man
Yeah.
in the sack. And every girl is going
Yeah.
on a trip.
And Sally goes, most women fake an orgasm. Have faked an orgasm.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, it's never happened to me. And she
I
goes,
would
well,
know.
the math is not there.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that she just starts making the noises. And she's getting louder and louder and louder and more.
Building.
Yeah. And all of a sudden she just stops and she starts eating again.
Yeah, it gets all the way there, banging on the table and everything.
Yeah.
And then she's like, see?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, cut to the lady behind her going like, I'll have what she's having.
Which, by the way, there's a plaque at that table in the restaurant
Oh, very cool.
that says, I hope you're having what she's having. What she had.
That's very cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And I think it's hilarious. I guess they were supposed to just talk about it as well. But they came up with the idea that they needed
cut
to
it.
actually do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is kind of awkward. I mean, imagine being there in real life, somebody
Right?
doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's weird stuff always going on nowadays anyways, but like, yeah, you're just there enjoying your peach cobbler and all of a sudden, like, somebody's over here, yeah,
Yeah.
going to town and it's like,
I definitely don't think I could watch this with my parents. Like,
Oh, not when
I
you
would
were
feel so awkward.
older maybe, but not like
Yeah.
as like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a rated R movie, but yeah, I still go back to that. They say the F word like a couple times,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Christmas and New Year's come around.
Yeah. And they decide to go to New Year's together. They're dancing, and it's when they're dancing cheek to cheek that,
I think it hits them both.
yeah. And I feel like they're both a little scared.
Yeah, I think it was great that they waited for us until then, because we're thinking it.
Yeah.
How many times are these people gonna run into each other
Yeah.
and not have a connection? And it's very cool that they held back from doing the John Travolta Pulp Fiction thing where he's like in the bathroom saying like, just go home, don't do anything about it. Like, because they probably both thought about it. They both
Yeah,
thought about like,
seems like it.
if I was really with this person, no, I can't be with this person. I hate him. And it's like, oh, she's so weird.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's cool that like that was the part that it was really cool because they're just dancing and spinning around,
Yeah.
and you get his face, and he's like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
But they don't want to pull away.
Yeah.
They just there. It feels comfortable, but not,
Yeah.
and new,
Yeah.
but old. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
Well, and it was
here?
like so awkward for them that it was like they were like, "Oh my god, we need to set up the other person like immediately." And so that's when they set up their best friends together. Well,
Yeah.
not together, sorry, for each other. So
Yeah,
so
it's like-
Sally set up a date for Harry with Marie,
Yeah,
and Harry set up a date for Sally with Jess.
and Maria is kind of like the first gold digger. I don't know. She
Well, no, she was constantly talking about this married man throughout
Yeah.
the whole thing. And she's like, he's not going to leave his wife. He's not going to leave his wife. And
she's
of
the
course,
mistress. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. He's not going to leave his wife. Like, that's never going to
he's
happen.
having his cake and eating it too, and
Exactly.
you're the cake.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they don't talk about Harry's friend Jess too much about his past relationship, but I'm sure typical New Yorker
Mm-hmm.
in their late 20s and stuff. probably just couldn't find the right person and stuff.
Yeah.
So anyways, they double date, and you come into the scene where Jess is talking to Sally about uninteresting and
Yeah.
his opinions on writing. They're both writers, and she writes for a certain piece, and then he likes somebody that she doesn't like,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of that whole conversation just stops, and they're just staring at the other people, and Marie and Harry aren't talking too much about it, and
Yeah.
she goes, "Hey, you realize you're both from New Jersey?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, where are you from?" "I'm from here." "Oh no, I'm from over
Yeah.
here." And it's like, okay.
And that's it.
And it's
Yeah,
just
there's like no
so
chemistry
awkward.
between the setup dates.
Yeah, it totally went bad until they end up starting
Marie
conversing.
quotes something
That
that
he
he wrote.
Yeah.
And he's all like,
In a magazine
oh
that
my
he was
God.
in. Yeah. So dinner gets done and they go outside, and Marie and Sally are window shopping fakely and talking about, like, I just don't want you to feel bad, let him down easy, but if
Yeah.
you don't mind, I'd like to talk to Jess. And she's like, oh yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. And vice versa, the guys now are talking about, like, hey, do you think I could talk to her, and we'll give it a few weeks or
Yeah.
whatever. Oh, I feel bad, but they really don't. And it was so cool. That was kind of one of the funnier points for me, is like the two couples get together and they want to, you're one date, you're not breaking up.
No.
But you're like, hey, yeah, I think I'm going to call tonight. I'm going to hail a cab. I'll come with you.
And they just jump in a
They
cab
just
and go.
jump in a cab together. And then next thing you know, like, they're living together.
Yeah.
So
Within, 3 months of that?
Mhm.
They're living together. They're planning a wedding, it seems like. It's just very quick.
they jumped right into, like, bitching about furniture.
Yeah.
Like, just, they were meant to be together.
Exactly.
So that was pretty fun.
I loved it. And then Sally finds out that Joe is going to be getting married to a paralegal that he has known for a very, very short time.
Yeah, a few weeks.
Yeah.
And she calls Harry. I mean, he's a friend. You would confide in a friend, ask him to come over. And she's in the robe, and she's just crying, and he's just there handing her tissues and
Yep.
everything. And
Letting her vent.
she realizes then that, like, he was apprehensive about getting married to Sally
Yeah.
years before, and she was buying the excuses that he was given.
Yes.
And then she sees him just jump headfirst into a new relationship, head over heels in love with new girl.
Yep.
And she realizes he didn't want to get married
To me.
to me. He wasn't against marriage. It was just with me. And she's like, what's wrong with me? And
Yeah.
he's like, no, nothing's wrong with you.
Yeah.
In his eyes, honestly, nothing is wrong with
Yeah.
her.
And honestly, this is where my favorite line comes into play. Because she goes, I'm almost 40. And she's got to be, 33?
If
Maybe.
that, yeah.
Maybe. And she goes, I'm almost 40. And he goes,
like, "No, you're
when? And she goes, someday. And I'm like, girl, I feel you.
So he gets up to get her something.
I think he gets ready to leave because he's like, okay, this has been, I've comforted you, or maybe he went to go get water or something.
Yeah, and he
But-
gives her like a kiss on the mouth and everything. And
Which, by the way, is weird.
and it was a nonchalant. They've known each other for a while and everything. I was trying to pawn it off on, like, oh, okay, yeah, he's just caring about her, and then sits back down again for a quick second, and then does it again, and then
She goes, hold me a little bit longer.
Yeah, they do that, and then she ends up legit kissing again. So
Well,
yeah.
then they end up sleeping together.
Well,
Finally.
one thing leads to another, and then it was a weird cut scene. Not want to say cut scene or whatever. Of course, they don't show anything, even though it's rated R. They could have. They're there in bed, and she seems like that was the greatest night. I didn't have to fake it. She's having a good old time.
The glowing
afterwards.
feelings.
Yeah, and he's just kind of like just staring at the ceiling, and you're like, did he not like it? Was he confused? Are all of is the stuff he's been damming up and holding back, the flood of emotions that he's been wanting to feel but not wanting to feel for her. Is it all just hitting him right now and he's just like realizing it?
Maybe.
Because
Seems
kind of
like
shortly
it.
after he does.
Yeah.
But in that moment, that day, he didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And they do sleep on it.
Yeah.
They don't show if anything else had happened, but then she wakes up and it's the classic, he's already dressed and out the door, damn near out the door. And he's like, I gotta go to work. I gotta get dressed. You gotta too, we'll do dinner.
Later.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
And it really put a bad taste in her mouth.
Yeah. I think it hurt her. She didn't want to see him go because they had talked about it before that as soon as he slept with somebody, he goes, well, how long do you lay there and cuddle? It's got to be somewhere between 30 seconds and all night.
Yeah.
And she wants all night. I mean, she's not looking for that quick 30-second cuddle. And you're out the door. And that's essentially what he did. Even though he did stay all night, like, I don't feel like she felt he wanted to.
Yeah. And then they go out and they're in public a few more
it's
times.
awkward.
And it's just awkward. They don't know what to say about it, what to do about it. It definitely didn't continue.
Yeah.
Probably for the better. If they really wanted a relationship to last, don't turn it into just friends with benefits now.
Yeah.
Because you went from friends straight into
More than
something
friends.
else.
Yeah.
But that path was really awkward. They get on a really cool scene where Jess and Marie, who are in bed together.
The phones.
Yeah, and it's the classic like cut scene or whatever. Slides over and Sally is talking to Marie about like, oh, this happened. The phone rings for Jess, and then Harry's on the phone. So both couples are in bed. Why do they have two landlines with separate numbers?
I don't know. Maybe because of their jobs.
The other phone rang anyway. So they're both on the phone, and so it's four people talking on the phone. But the way it was like shot, it worked as far as like this person stopped talking and it was nonstop. But you get the gist of what she's saying to her and what he's saying to him, and how they're trying to fix it. But there's ultimately really nothing they can do except for
So I actually did look this up because I was like, that scene had to have been tough to shoot. They ended up shooting it like 60 times.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm like, that's a long time to be like shooting the same thing over and over and over again.
As quick as that was, quick
it was
dialogue.
Yeah.
But at least it was 2 minutes maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, God, I can't imagine be sore throat after that.
Right.
What else happened? So, but they had gotten married. Did that happen after the Jess wedding?
No,
wedding?
it happened before the wedding. So at the wedding is when it's like 3 weeks after they've slept together, and they're at the wedding, and that's when
and
he
they are the
decides
best
to-
man and bridesmaid.
maid of honor.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Not the same.
Okay.
Every woman out there will tell you it's not the same thing.
The best man and maid of honor.
There you go.
And they're right up there in the whole ceremony.
Super close.
Weird.
Awkwardly close.
Yeah. That's the story of the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
Awkward.
pretty. It's just, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, so they end up getting into a fight
An
like
argument,
at the
yeah.
wedding, a really big argument where she's expecting him to, don't be that guy that you've been telling me you are, but then he's kind of, I don't know.
He wants to, how do I put this? He wants to not be that guy, but it's like he can't help himself.
Yeah.
And he's trying so hard to, I guess, to make it right, but not.
He's apologizing. He knows
Commit?
what he did was not what she wanted. It's not that it was wrong, because in his eyes, I wasn't wrong. That's what I felt, and that's what I ended up doing as far as the leaving thing right after. And he knew that he did her wrong.
Yeah.
And that's not what she deserved, but he didn't feel like he needed to do anything different. At least that's what I took away from it.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And then it's kind of a messed up thing. They Jess and Maureen give a toast to the whole wedding, and they're like, "We'd really like to give a toast to Harry and Sally."
Yeah.
Because if we were attracted to you in any slightest, this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
And they're like, thanks. You know,
Right.
Just
Like, oh, you rejected us and now you're getting married. Congratulations. But it's not until New Year's Eve again
yeah.
that
He's been trying to call her up until this point and leaving messages. I mean, really long, like intense messages. She's getting them all. Half the time she's there for him and hearing them over the answering machine. Kids, there was an answering machine that used to be able to hear this person live and pick up and just interrupt them and talk to them. All right, back to the movie.
Yeah. So on New Year's Eve, though, I guess Marie and Jess convinced Sally to, hey, let's go out to a party. You're going to meet somebody. It's fine. Let's just go out.
Yeah, she's dancing aggressively with this one guy, yeah.
Well, he's dancing aggressively.
Flinging her around and everything. But then you kind of show Harry, and he's alone, and
reflecting.
He's alone in his apartment, and he's like, oh, I can't be here. And he goes out for a walk and tries to, window shop and grab an ice cream, and he's just like, nothing is filling this hole.
Yeah. Well, he has the ice cream, and he's throwing it away where she dropped him off back in 1977. And I think it just comes all just like rushing back to him, and he's all like, oh my God, I love her.
Yeah, and he goes and takes off in a sprint to the party, because I think he was invited also to the party, but it was like, if she's going to be there, I don't want to.
And no taxi would pick him up.
Yeah,
because
couldn't get a ride. So
it's
he's
New York
running.
City on New Year's Eve, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he shows up to the party, and it's the classic. They catch eyes and everything, and he's like, I think I love you. And she's
like, you're just saying that because it's New Year's Eve and you don't want to be lonely.
Yeah. It's like, what do you want me to say to that? And it's like, well, say it too. And she's like, no.
Yeah.
So.
Until he lists out all the reasons that he loves her.
And it's all of her quirky things.
Yes.
It's how she orders her food.
It's so sweet.
And she's like, yeah, but I hate you, though.
Yeah.
Nobody makes me hate them more than you.
Yeah.
And they realize that all the good things that they do and all the bad things that they do,
they accept and love about each other.
Exactly.
And then there's another close-up kissing scene.
Yeah. And then it's cut to them on the couch now, the way that they were filming the older couples. And they were talking about how...
their love story.
Yeah.
It was so cute. And then they got married 3 months after New Year's.
Yeah.
It was so sweet. I just loved it.
Did you have a favorite character?
I really like Marie. Because I think she, she's a hopeless romantic. She wants the guy that she wants to want her.
And she does a lot.
She does.
To try to entice him. She sends flowers to herself.
From another guy.
Yeah, in hopes that he would see it and get kind of jealous.
Yeah.
She's
of course
trying.
he never did, yeah. But she always wants to set her friend up and make sure that her friend is taken care of too. Yeah. And it's just, nothing ever seems to work out for her until she finally meets that right person. Yeah. Which I think is true for everybody. No matter what, if it's not the right time or whatnot, if it's not your right person, it's not going to work until it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And so I love that she finally found love, and it just happened to be with her best friend's dude's best friend.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, I'm sure we both know people that, friends that you just never thought would be together, and they probably never thought, and then all of a sudden it happens. It's like,
yeah.
How'd you guys wait so damn long?
Yeah.
It's been right here.
Yeah.
My favorite character was actually Sally.
Okay.
And I say that because from the first minute to the last minute of the movie, she didn't change.
True.
She was who she was, through and through, didn't try to conform to Joe, to Harry, to anybody that she was with, as far as we know.
Yeah.
That she was always the same
Yep.
girl.
True.
And I kind of felt like, I mean, you want to like Harry, I guess, because he ends up finding
Yeah.
love or whatever, but like, you're like, man, stop struggling. You're fighting. I mean, of course, it'd be a 4-minute
Yeah.
movie if you did, but I liked that she was like, I am who I am. And it's kind of like our relationship or
Yeah.
whatever. That's what I told you. I was like, I just want to be me,
Yeah.
accept me, and this will go good.
Yeah.
And has. Let's see, what else? So it was Rob Reiner directed it.
So
Nora Ephron wrote it.
So based on that, Rob Reiner, the Harry character was based on him.
Okay.
He was kind of going through a similar situation, a divorce, and being a single guy again. And Nora Ephron was like Sally. Rob heard her ordering, and that's what got written into the movie.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what you know.
And Billy Crystal would actually isolate himself from the cast and crew to make himself seem more like a actual divorced man who wasn't ready to get back out there in the dating scene.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Like the length that these actors will go through to make sure that they're...
Method, but not crazy method or whatever. Yeah. So, all right. So, overall, good cast.
Yes.
Good director. Great director.
Oh, yeah.
Rob Reiner has done a lot of stuff in that same kind of genre.
Well, okay, yeah. I guess you see also Billy Crystal at one point, he's reading the book Misery. And that's the next movie that Rob Reiner directed.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
At least that's what it said on IMDb, so we'll
Okay.
take it with a grain of salt.
out of a 10,
Yeah.
what are you giving it?
So I gave it 9 out of 10 pastrami sandwiches.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
I'll probably go 8 out of 10 fake orgasms.
All right.
It's the rom-coms, for me are always kind of,
Yeah.
unless they're like, there were, how do you say it? There was plenty of funny lines, plenty of, I wouldn't say jokes,
Yeah.
but there was smart dialogue. It was sophisticated comedy throughout it. As I'm sophisticated comedy. And I love that. I like that too. So I don't know. Maybe I was feeling, a little bit more of a, I don't know, a Matthew McConaughey 10 Things I Hate About You kind of funny. And I know you like that one too and stuff. But
I'm just a rom-com.
Yeah, I know. So, but 8 out of 10 is not horrible.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
So.
I love I think my favorite part was like the old couples, hands down. So those were real stories, not real, like those were actors telling the stories, but real stories.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure the way they were
Yeah.
portrayed.
They're just so cute. I love little old people and their cute love stories.
So, overall, a 9 and an 8 for When Harry Met Sally from 1989. If you haven't seen it in a while, or if you haven't seen it at all, it's a quick one. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grab a friend, grab a loved one, or a friend with benefits, and check it out.
Yes, definitely.
So let's see what other movie we
We'll
have
see
in
what's
store
next. Yeah.
for you, since it's been a minute.
We'll get back on it, I promise.
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab my Bloody Mary.
Heck yes. So
Do
good.
yourself a favor, grab one, and like and subscribe and follow and all that stuff.
All right. Until next time.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Christina.
See ya.
Bye.